Okay, the latest update, it's been just over 4 weeks since I planted these suckers. Tomato plants are doing really well. Obviously I'm using telescopic pots I 3D printed. Plenty of flowers, and these flowers, it's hard to show you, but these tomatoes coming on these on this little cherry sucker plant, I'm going to call it there. Plenty of flowers coming. I guess it's a cherry plant, but it's doing really well. Cherry tomato plant's doing really well. Same here, plenty of flowers coming. Plenty of flowers the other side, and just in between the tomatoes. It's a full-size tomato plant. Nice big thick stem. It's going well. Now, for those who haven't watched my videos before, what I'm doing, I'm using 70% cocoa, 30% perlite, and I've also got some clay pebbles in there. Clay pebbles at the bottom of me telescopic pots, and also mixed with, as a top me, made me telescopic pots bigger as the plant's grown. I put some clay pebbles in with the cocoa and perlite as well. Both pots are just sitting in a tray with liquid plant food. That's the liquid plant food I'm using, nothing else, just quite simple. And there's my little bin shaped reservoir, and the liquid plant food's in there. And I've not watered these on the top, I've just left them, and the cocoa and perlite's just soaked the liquid plant food up, and the tomato plants are really happy so far, and as you can see in this tent, doing really well. I've got the Mars TS600 grow light in here, which I'll leave on for 12 hours and off for 12 hours. Now I know a lot of people like to leave them on longer, but I advise not to do that. These tomato plants get a lot of light off them, leaving them on for 12 hours, and they need the 12 hours off to grow, and they'll be a lot happier if you do that. The other controversial thing I'm going to say, and what I don't like about hydroponics, now I call this hydroponics because if you're not using soil, compost or anything like that, I've been told you call it hydroponics, and so I'm going to stick with that, calling it hydroponics. What I don't like about it is that whatever method you use, you're just using the bottom roots or the main roots, and hardly any roots coming from the main stem. Yes, you get lovely long roots, but you're also losing out a lot when it comes to tomato production, in my opinion, by not getting those secondary roots growing. This is the reason I started on this telescopic pot. Besides me granddad and dad using old pots in the past, going back to the 1970s, you'd use a plastic pot, and then you get one slightly bigger, cut the top and bottom off, slide that up. It's the same method, but what I'm doing is I made a 3D printed one. I've made two actually, one small one for my cherry tomato, and one big one. And so far so good. Even though they're not very tall, as you can see, it's a big thick stem. There are your tomatoes coming, and you would get more tomatoes on here. Tomatoes there coming. Although I don't know if you can see around there with my camera. There's going to be a lot more flowers coming there, so it will be packed full of tomatoes, and all because I've started it off low. As it's built up, I've taken the leaves off, taken any flowers off, which I've done a few times, 2 or 3 times. And when it gets to this stage, you just don't take the flowers off, you leave them. And so the bottom of your plants, even though it's not very tall, as it is not a young plant, so to speak, it's able to grow tomatoes some lower down. And you'll get some nice tomatoes on there, hopefully. I keep saying hopefully, but they are coming in. I can't focus on there, but we've got tomatoes on there, and tomatoes on there. I've got also in here, I have got one of these tube heaters, only a little one. The reason I put that in there, because I don't have meeting on in my house all the time. If it gets cold, I'll just leave that on. And you get a nice bit of warmth coming from it with the grow tent. I've got two 4-inch fans in here, one there and one at the top, which are on all the time for 12 hours with this heater. And what that does, you get a nice, even though it's cool air coming from the outside, it's also warm in here. It's 25 to 26 maximum in here, and that's plenty, and you get a nice breeze, as you can probably tell, coming from just that 4-inch fan. The tomatoes are loving it. I've done nothing else, like I say, just the plant pots just sit in this tray, and with the auto pot system. The only reason I've got a bit of foil on here because it's easy to put over the top to stop the light hitting the water so much and getting algae in there. But also I have to do it now and again. I've done it once a week. I just take the foil off, get a cup, and if there's anything in there I'll just skip it out, but there's nothing really in there algae wise. And so yeah, so far so good. I just thought I'd show you. So we've got a Mars TS600 grow light, a tray in there with my 2 telescopic pots. I've got a cherry tomato growing there with tomatoes coming, which I'll show you better in another few days time. It's my full-size tomato plant. There's lots of flowers on there, and they'll be going turning into tomatoes soon. There's plenty on the other side coming as well, and that's my latest update. Okay, thank you, bye.